Yo, what is going on everybody? It is Rio here bringing you an experience in which we are going to explore the music in The Last of Us Part 2. Stick with me to the end and I hope you enjoyed the rest of this video. So I've been learning how to play Cycles, which is an official musical composition from The Last of Us Part 2. And in my time learning to play this, I actually realized this song has a very big significance to a musical piece from the first game called You and Me. So I'm going to play Cycles for you so you know what you're listening to, right? So this is Cycles. That's the first half of Cycle. The chord progressions from this is very similar to the theme You and Me, which is in the first Last of Us, and that goes like this. Now, at base value, that might not sound similar, but if you look at the chord progressions and you break it down piece by bit, it actually is mirroring one another. Alright, so I'm going to break this down to show you what I'm talking about. So this is Cycles. This is You and Me. Let's go back to Cycles. Let's go back to You and Me. Let's go back to Cycles. And then if you go to You and Me, if you notice at the end, those two little licks are very, very different, but they're both licks, which means it's like a little spice thing that you do on the guitar. I don't know how to specifically describe it at this very particular moment, but that's what a lick is, and they both have their own licks. And the thing is the lick from You and Me sounds very peaceful, calming, whereas the lick from Cycles sounds very augmented or diminished. It sounds off. And I feel like this is the way the music is conveying the theme of the game. So in You and Me, we know that this theme was used to show the relationship between Joel and Ellie. Whereas in The Last of Us Part 2, we've been told that the theme is about hate, which explains why the music sounds off in their interlude. Now all of this is just explaining the first half of the song. The second half continues to mirror You and Me, but it also starts to mirror other songs like The Last of Us theme song, and I'll show you what I mean, alright? So this is the next part of Cycles. This is how it goes. Now in You and Me, this part goes like this. Now one thing you might notice about this part is it's not as complicated, right? Or it might sound completely different. But the reason it sounds different is because I'm not overdoing the chords. I'm just playing the chords as natural. Whereas in Cycles, you're playing every note within the chord, right? Like... But in You and Me, it's just a simple... Alright? But at the end of the day, the two chord progressions are the same. If I was to dumb down Cycles, it would sound like this. Another thing that I could do is change this D chord to this other D chord. And then you'd get the song start to sound like this. And now all of a sudden it sounds exactly like You and Me, right? Same chord progressions, but played differently. They're not the same chords, but they are of the same usage. Is that the right word? It's like they're going up and down in the same manner. But this chord progression is also seen in the main theme, which I believe goes... Once again, those chords are the same chord progression. I believe Gustavo probably did this so that he can add familiarity into the music, right? So when you're listening to it, it still holds that Last of Us theme, but it's different. And that gives us the sensation that The Last of Us is back, but it's heading in a different direction. And the second part of Cycles continues to follow You and Me. There's a part in Cycles and then it goes... And that part is this part in You and Me, which goes... What makes the relationship between these two musical pieces so significant? If you remember in the first game, You and Me is the music that plays when Joel is with Ellie. As their relationship grows, this music plays alongside to represent the theme of love. And I don't mean love in a creepy way. As we head into The Last of Us Part 2, the theme Cycles takes everything from You and Me and puts an off twist to the song, bringing a more hostile flow to the music, which fits in perfectly with the theme of hate. Another interesting fact that I'd like to point out is in The Last of Us Part 2, there seems to be a use of what I call the dying cellos, which seem to play in times in which the situation seems dire or dark. For example, in the Paris Games trailer, or in the E3 trailer. As you can see, the dying cellos are used whenever the atmosphere becomes grim. However, When we have seen happiness in The Last of Us Part 2, there has been a lively cello, bringing a positively harmonious atmosphere to the game.
44 pistol under my head. I woke up in the morning about 9:30. Hacks in the buggy standing in line. Jensen gamers standing around.
In the official version of Cycles, a dying cello can be heard, which further proves that the theme of hate is embedded within Cycles. The point of this video was to show how Gustavo has managed to transform a musical piece that represented the theme of love into a theme of hate, while maintaining the core essence of The Last of Us. Gustavo's use of chord progressions, note manipulation, and instrument choices show us how much strategy has been in place into the music of The Last of Us Part 2. This, of course, is just my interpretation of the music. If you have something different, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, I will see you all in the future. Stay moist, everybody. Cheers.